It's Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast with your boy Ryan Enjoys Wrestling and MWO, and we are back, baby. We took a hiatus for a week. We had some things going on, but we are back, and this is our WWE edition. We're talking all things after SummerSlam. That's SmackDown, Raw, and NXT. Ryan, are you ready?
I am, man. I had a little bit of surgery. That's why we were gone for a while, and I'm recovered. It was not a work like Seth Rollins' injury apparently was. I was legitimately cooped up in a hospital bed for 24 hours, and then I was at my own personal bed for 24 hours. But I'm back now and ready to break down this crazy week of WWE wrestling.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Let's start with SmackDown. You ready? And we're glad you're back, and we're glad you're healthy, and nothing happened. Nothing happened serious.
Let's hit that music.
Let's go.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast, shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all Lee, the two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
Take some time off, and I forget we have a theme song. All right.
It's all right. It happens. It's our first day back.
Let's get into SmackDown. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you hit that music again. I'm going to start doing that all the time. I'm going to yeet you back on, and we're going to have to turn the music back on like yeeting. All right, let's get into it. So SmackDown, this was the SmackDown after SummerSlam, and of course, we had Brock Lesnar back at – oh, wait, no, we didn't. But we did have John Cena, so let's talk about it. I know you want to talk about it, but John Cena had an encounter with one Logan Paul and with one R-Truth. Ryan, I'll let you start off with it. What'd you like about R-Truth, Logan Paul, and no Brock Lesnar? All these people wanting him back, huh? They forgot who Brock Lesnar really was.
Yeah, that was the thing that surprised me was, we got Brock Lesnar at the end of SummerSlam, in the shocking return, the return of all returns that nobody ever saw coming. And then they don't follow up with it at all. And John Cena, once again, this is the crap that WWE does, and it really irritates me. John Cena turned heel and aligned himself with The Rock at the Elimination Chamber. And in his very first promo back, he never once mentioned The Rock. He never once mentioned Travis Scott. He never once mentioned the WWE title. He never once mentioned anything. He just said that I turned heel because you people were mean to me. So now here he is, he's babyface. He goes after Brock Lesnar, attacks him, and he barely mentioned Brock Lesnar at all in his promo. The only thing he said was, I don't know why anyone would choose to face Brock Lesnar by choice. And that was it. And then he just kind of went on his own merry way. The fact that they didn't bring Brock Lesnar out is really asinine to me. It makes no sense. Apparently, there's a rumor that they want to hold off until September 20th and do a PLE on the same day as AEW All Out. And that's when they're going to do Brock Lesnar and John Cena as a way to counter-program WWE. But that's all a bunch of hearsay from the Dave Meltzers of the world. But this was a miss. I didn't mind the Logan Paul thing, but your very next PLE is Clash in Paris, and you don't follow up with the Brock Lesnar stuff. Like that's what didn't make any sense. Having Logan Paul versus John Cena is completely fine. Having Logan Paul, they have a story, they have a history. They teamed together 2 PLEs ago at Money in the Bank. They lost because of R-Truth, and Cody Rhodes pinned John Cena when John Cena was a heel. Now Logan Paul sees through John Cena's BS. He thinks John Cena's not really a good guy. He's just going with what the people want and just kind of it's all a facade. So I like the Logan Paul stuff, but doing it now when you just brought Brock Lesnar back, that's what was a miss to me.
Yeah. What about R-Truth?
Oh, don't get me started on that. That whole thing was fumbled. Triple H dropped the ball in a big way on the John Cena heel turn, including the R-Truth serious turn. We got to see we got the return of the silly R-Truth on SmackDown when they did the mirror thing next to each other. And, it was a funny segment. It was ha 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 and good stuff. John Cena flipped it on R-Truth and was like, you were acting weird for 5 months there. You said you were going to ruin wrestling and you made a kid in Brussels cry. And Ha ha ha, very funny. But the fact is they did nothing with serious R-Truth. Absolutely nothing at all. He came out, he cost John Cena the match against Logan Paul or against Cody Rhodes, and who's Cody Rhodes' partner at Money in the Bank. I can't even remember who Cody Rhodes teamed with, but it was Logan Paul and John Cena teaming up. Jey Uso. Was it Jey Uso? Yeah, it was Jey Uso.
I think so.
Yeah. But yeah, so he helped Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes get the win, and then they don't do anything with him. He cuts his dreads off on Monday Night Raw and says that my name is Ron and you're going to put some respect on my name. And then immediately they keep calling him R-Truth. And then he's, beating up Elton Prince of DIY, wanting not DIY, but of Pretty Deadly. He wants a match with John Cena. He finally gets the match with John Cena. It ends in a no contest. And then John Cena cuts the pipe bomb on CM Punk. And that's really all he was used for, was to advance John Cena, CM Punk. Then he moves on to Aleister Black. But then that's all to advance Damian Priest and Aleister Black. And now he's back to being silly R-Truth again and did absolutely nothing with that. That whole thing was completely fumbled. And I don't know. I had such high hopes that maybe Cena and R-Truth would retire together. Maybe John Cena and R-Truth, R-Truth would play a pivotal role in John Cena's heel turn and John Cena turning back into a babyface. But John Cena's babyface run and R-Truth's serious run were completely squandered by the powers that be.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And that's the thing that it's funny because I made a video the night of John Cena's heel turn. And I said, this was forced. This was not planned. And this will be wasted. And I got attacked in the comments majorly. And I was 100% right. It was a big waste of time. And I think not only did it hurt the WWE because Cody's momentum was taken away. Cody should have just stayed champion. Was the point of having him lose that belt? They did nothing. R-Truth momentum was squandered, but so is John Cena's. And you can tell that he didn't give two rats about being a heel. He didn't try. All he did was not smile. It was just a complete blah. And I don't mind him and Logan Paul. I mean, why not, right? Why not have them face each other? I mean, Logan Paul's going to help him have a hell of a good match. It should be a lot of fun. But all these people crying about it, get out of here with that, because y'all were rooting for Brock Lesnar, all saying you're so happy he did nothing wrong, no allegations, yada yada yada. We're just happy the Beast is back because he's not on SmackDown. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I think you guys all forgot that. You guys all hated Brock Lesnar. And why did you guys all hate Brock? Oh, that's right, because he never wrestled. That's right, because he was a part-timer. He took people's spots and main events and title reigns. And that's right. You guys don't, because everyone's so short-minded. Just like you guys, Vince McMahon never did anything wrong, but that was Vince McMahon's booking. But now Triple H is booking, and Triple H is so bad. I wish, because I can't remember what happened 15 minutes ago. All I know is the right now. And that's the saddest part about pro wrestling fans right now. But I'm not surprised Brock wasn't there. Brock doesn't give two rats. Brock cares about one thing and one thing only. That's money. He's no different than Goldberg. He's no different than any of these other people who just come and go, blah. And everyone hates on Logan Paul, who puts in the work, shows up every day, does the time. People hated on Jelly Roll. Dude put his body on the line, did his best. Should he have been in the match? No. Why have singers in the matches? They could do other things. But still, he did it, and he worked his ass off and tried. I don't understand.
And he lost.
And he took the L. So, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's all just bizarre to me. That's my biggest thing, is that I don't really care anymore. Like, this was just a cheap way to get John Cena a 17th title reign. And I think that ruins his legacy there, too, because it's really just a forced – I know everything is scripted, but I mean, this just seems real. Like, it's like not even earned. Like, I can't even count it as a 17th reign because it's so made up and forced. It's like gross. So, I mean, but we got to move forward, I guess. But it took away my momentum. I can care less about John Cena now, the rest of his reign. Until his last match, I can care less.
Yeah, I don't care at all. And I did think Brock Lesnar would have been on SmackDown this past week because they were in Canada and Brock Lesnar's from Canada. So I thought for sure, like, okay, this makes sense. Bring Brock back here for this. He maybe F5s John Cena again, and maybe we figure out a rhyme or reason and they set up this match. But the fact that we have to wait now, like they did this at SummerSlam, which is in August, and now we have to wait a potential month and a half before we get any closure on it. It's ridiculous. But I'm excited about John Cena, Logan Paul for sure. I think that's going to be a great match. And Yeah, John Cena. I mean, Logan Paul is fantastic, and there's a story there. So I don't understand why people are so upset about that.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we had a tag team match because the main event was John Cena and Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. What a banger of a main event out of nowhere, especially on an episode of SmackDown. But I'm a little upset, and that's because at the end of SmackDown, Drew McIntyre claymores Cody Rhodes through the announce table. Cool spot. But now he's announced as the next champion or title contender for Cody Rhodes' belt. And I'm pissed off about it. And I know the world is excited and everyone's so pumped. But if you're going to tell me right now that there is a 1% any chance that Drew McIntyre beats Cody Rhodes in his first title defense, you are out of your mind. This is another situation of why are we putting Drew here? Drew is the MVP of the WWE. He's the MVP of pro wrestling. He is the main carrier of all that's good in wrestling nowadays. Basically, I know AEW is the hottest thing going, blah blah blah, but Drew is the hottest thing going. But yet all he does is talk his way into fame, talk his way into merch sales, talk his way into being the biggest star in WWE to only lose title match after title match. He's like the opposite of Sheamus. Sheamus is banger after banger. He's title loss after title loss after title loss. And honestly, I think this is going to hurt his momentum. I think this is a bad decision. That's just my opinion. I'm glad to see him in it, but he ain't going to win. I posted and people in my comments are like, he is going to win. Trust me. I'm like, okay. Yeah, he's going to beat Cody.
Yeah. Not at first. The only thing I could see is that they use this because I think WWE, they have to avoid a lot of the same mistakes they made with Cody Rhodes' first title reign, which was a bunch of random matches that nobody gave a shit about. AJ Styles and Logan Paul, just to name a few. And then his title reign didn't get good until he teamed with Roman Reigns. And then his title reign didn't get good until Kevin Owens turned heel. He didn't really have a rivalry. He didn't really have a feud. He didn't really have something to sink his teeth into. He always felt like the second. He always felt like the second character. He never felt like the main character in his story. So I think if they can replicate somehow, some way, the Drew McIntyre CM Punk feud from 2024 and make that Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes in 2025, then I think maybe Drew McIntyre comes out of it looking better than ever. I don't think he's going to win the championship, but I think I think this could be a multi-match feud. I think this should go on to, not only Clash in Paris, but it should happen at the PLE in September. I think it should go to Survivor Series, maybe culminates in Hell in a Cell somehow, just like CM Punk, Drew McIntyre did. They can troll each other online. We can really get that dastardly Drew McIntyre back, because I think he's been kind of missing, and it would be a good way to test Cody Rhodes as WWE champion as well. So I'm okay with it. If they do it that way, if it's just a random one-off match and Cody Rhodes moves on to the next opponent after this, then you're right. This would be a squandered opportunity for Drew.
Yeah, and I guess time will tell, huh? We shall see. I'd rather have Drew trying to go up against Punk right now, but that's Seth, but that's neither here nor there. All right, well, we got a match with one Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa, and Sami Zayn gets the pin, gets the comeuppance on the MFTs. What do you think about this, and what do you think about Sami Zayn's direction right now, Ryan?
Oh man, I love Sami Zayn,
bro.
Yeah, he's my doppelganger, my doppelginger, my brother from another mother. But I'm not feeling this underdog thing, man. I'm not. I'm a little tired of the underdog shtick. And then he carried it over to Monday Night Raw, to where he's talking to Adam Pearce like, "Hey, give me the shot for the world title. I deserve it. I've been, I will win the world title." And I don't know. I'm not really feeling the underdog shtick. I don't like it when champions get pinned, but I didn't mind him beating Solo Sikoa, because it was in his hometown, and he won on like a fluky roll up, so it wasn't like Solo looked, Solo got his ass kicked or got squashed.
Yeah.
So I was fine with that. I don't know, like, he's back with the bloodline or the MFTs again. Like, how many times have we seen this feud? Feels like it's just wash, rinse, repeat. It's either Jimmy Uso feuding with them, Jey Uso feuding with them, and now Sami Zayn feuding with them. But I'm not really feeling Sami's direction. This underdog, like, this is a guy that's main evented WrestleMania. This is a guy that dethroned the Usos. He main evented against Roman Reigns, almost won the WWE Undisputed title. He's won he dethroned Gunther. Like, he's far from an underdog, and I'm just not feeling the underdog story right now.
I respect that. Here's my thing. I think they have bigger pictures for your twin brother, and I think that he is going to either win the Rumble, which is more likely, or win the Elimination Chamber. I think he's going to main event WrestleMania, and I think he's going to beat Cody Rhodes for the title. I think he is, and so I think they need to do something with him, and they can't just have him lose. And I think they are doing the underdog thing until he beats Solo for the U.S. title. And then I think he's going to have a hell of a run, just like he did with the IC title after he beat Gunther. And I think this time, though, it's going to segue into him eventually dropping it and moving on to the world and winning the Rumble or the Elimination Chamber. And I think that's what his future holds. And that's why I like it, because I see a bright future. I don't see this underdog thing going on for long. He's either going to beat Solo at Paris or the pay-per-view after that or the PLE after that. I think this is going to be a quick turnaround for Solo and the MFTs. And I think that Sammy's going to win it and have a pretty damn good reign. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking they're done with it. And he's going to be badass Sammy and kick some ass and take some names. So, yeah.
I think he just needs a character change. I think he needs to either go win the U.S. title and go heel.
Turn heel.
And then we get heel Sami Zayn versus babyface Cody Rhodes.
He's going to have to turn heel. Yeah.
So I think they're going to have to do something to get him because I think people are going to start turning. If they do the underdog thing, I think people are going to start turning on Sami, and I don't want that to happen because I love Sami Zayn. So I think they need to give him some sort of character change or some sort of oomph back into Sami. So turning heel, I think, is the right move.
Yeah, I agree fully. All right, and the last thing we'll talk about on SmackDown had good and bad, in my opinion. One, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. They had their championship celebration, and it was probably the most awkward promo I've seen in a while. I feel like they didn't have any script. They both just kind of came out and wung it. They didn't know what they were saying. It looked like Charlotte was going to say something to Alexa, and then Alexa kept telling Charlotte, like, what am I? What am I? What am I? What am I? What are you going to say? What are whatever? And then Charlotte just didn't know what to say and was like, we're not friends or what. I don't know. It dragged on forever. But the good is that the women's tag team titles have never felt important. So much so that now we have a Mercedes Moné and now we have a Naomi heel. That's how bad it was because those girls just quit the company. It was so bad with the tag team. They've never been relevant ever. And now, finally, I feel like this is the chance. You have the tag team titles on possibly your biggest female star in the history of pro wrestling and a top 10 female star in Alexa Bliss. I mean, you got two hitters. They can figure it out and work it out and get the promos better. But I feel like if they do this right, they're getting airtime every week. We can make these women tag team titles feel important for the first time ever.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think the crowd seems to be digging Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. The audience is feeling them. And I think this is perfect. We don't need Charlotte Flair in the main women's title picture. We don't really need Alexa Bliss in the main women's title picture right now.
Or the White Six.
Becky, and Becky, we don't need her near the White Six at all. And Becky Lynch is doing her thing, carrying the women's mid-card scene. So I think this is the perfect place for both of these women in the tag division to kind of help elevate that division. So you kind of have the best of all worlds. You have, people like Naomi and Rhea Ripley kind of carrying the women's main event scene. Then you have, a legend in Becky Lynch carrying the mid-card scene. And now you have Charlotte carrying and Alexa Bliss, helping elevate the tag division. And I think that's huge for the women's tag division. But this promo was good. It reminded me a lot of the Festival of Friendship that they did with Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. I kept waiting for something like that to happen. I was like, please don't have Charlotte Flair turn on her. Don't have Alexa Bliss turn. Like, I'm glad they didn't go that way, but they brought out the cake and it was just a little over the top. And then, it was just an awkward segment for the most part, but it was better than the Tiffany Stratton Charlotte Flair segment, which also seemed unscripted. And they took personal jabs at each other.
Well, that's behind the scenes.
I'm glad they didn't go that route this time.
Yeah, and you forgot to add in too. We also have Tiffany Stratton as a women's champion, and we have Julia as a U.S. champion. I mean, people are like, WWE ain't cooking right now. I mean, the women's division is stacked right now. They got all the right champions. Yeah. And then when you add in Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, you got Stephanie Vaquer. I mean, you got so many people coming up right now. Pretty insane.
Yeah.
Pretty insane in my opinion. All right. I feel like I heard music. All right. Next up, are you ready for some Monday Night Raw?
Always, man. You like it raw.
All right. Dude, I only like it raw on Monday nights. All right, let's get into it. So let's do the opening and the closing. And that is one CM Punk opening up the show. He gets interrupted by LA Knight. He throws a big, boo-hoo party. The Vision comes out. There's a big old brawl. There's no name of Jey Uso, and we get a tag team match later on in the main event. Seth Rollins goes home. He packs his things up. He's hitting the jet. He's copying Roman Reigns. Deuces, my friend. And they have their main event. It gets interrupted by none other than Seth Rollins, who plane didn't take off because that's how planes are working nowadays. Good thing they weren't going to New York. And he comes. They do the jumping. Jey Uso, all of a sudden, I think he comes out too, right, and gets his butt beat. And now we have a fatal four-way coming up at the Clash with one CM Punk versus LA Knight versus Jey Uso versus Seth Rollins for the World Championship. What do you think about all of this? And what do you think it's all leading to? And why was Jey Uso added?
Jey Uso he's that guy in the group project that doesn't do any work, but gets to put his name on the paper and take all the credit. That's exactly what happened. Like, he's like, oh yeah, I missed last week when Roman was getting his ass beat, who I just teamed with at SummerSlam the 2 nights before. I wasn't there. I was taking care of family business, as he'd like to say. And then and now he's randomly added into the World Heavyweight Championship picture, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, I guess he technically never got his rematch, so maybe that's what the angle that they're going with. But
did Roman get one? Did Cody get one? Did we can keep did CM Punk get one? I guess he's getting one now, technically. I mean, so yeah.
Yeah. John Cena's not getting one, but
there it is.
but yeah, I mean, yeah, it just feels. I think what this is leading to answer your question, is they can't have LA Knight take a pin, they can't have CM Punk take a pin to Seth Rollins, so they added Jey Uso because he's the perfect guy that can take a pin and advance, get Seth Rollins past Paris, and then we get to CM Punk versus Seth Rollins one-on-one, or maybe CM Punk or LA Knight, Seth Rollins one-on-one for the world title. I think that's what they're going to do. But I think they added Jey Uso so somebody can take a pin. And it's not going to be Seth. It's not going to be Punk. It's not going to be Knight.
Yeah, I think this is all to build to LA Knight and CM Punk, which I don't mind. I think LA Knight fans are going to be disappointed because there's 0% chance LA Knight's getting the comeuppance over CM Punk, who I think will be main eventing WrestleMania against Seth Rollins. But I think obviously they're going to take each other out and disappear off into the arena while Jey Uso gets pinned by Seth Rollins with the help of the Vision. I feel like it's just the writing on the wall. You can smell it. So I think that's the only reason why he was added in, which is fine. But that's going to upset a bunch of Jey Uso fans too, that, he's the most popular wrestlер because he sells merch and people say yeet. So why is he losing? It's just going to start more of a Triple H doesn't know how to book sagas going on. But other than that, I liked it. I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised by LA Knight. But I have something to ask you. I feel like LA Knight is always missing a beat whenever he goes up against somebody who's greater than him. And, I feel like anytime he's had mic time, and I'm not saying that's a knock because Roman went through those stages. Shoot, The Rock went through those stages for a little bit. Most people go up against John Cena, fumble their words. They've all had their moments of learning how. But I felt like LA Knight was going around in circles on this promo and didn't know what he was saying. He was very confused. I don't know. And I felt like CM Punk kind of lost track because LA Knight. I felt like the opening promo was very awkward because LA Knight was so off that CM Punk was like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So I'm going to try to do the best I can here. It was just and there was even a part where CM Punk got interrupted by Paul Heyman and he literally got on the mic and said, I wasn't finished yet. And I don't think that was like in character. I think he literally was like, LA Knight fumbled his words so much. I had more to say, but I guess time restraints had, Paul Heyman hit the ring early.
Yeah, it was very, very. I mean, I thought it was a decent promo from LA Knight, but there were times where I was just like, man, like he's just rambling now. Like he's just saying the same thing over and over. You got your shot. You won the world heavyweight title, and you deserve the rematch. And you're going to get the rematch, and it's going to happen at Paris. And great job, and you deserve it. But here's the thing: you're not getting the rematch because I'm getting the rematch, and you have to wait your turn in line to get the rematch against Seth Rollins because it's my turn because I beat Seth Rollins at Saturday night. It was just like, okay, like we get it. Like, I mean, I don't understand what you're saying. So
were you reading was that the actual dialogue, by the way?
That's what it felt like.
Okay. I was going to say, I feel like you were reading right off of it because that sounded exactly like what he was saying.
It was just more, you get the rematch, but I want the rematch. But hey, I tell you what, why don't we both get the rematch? And but you have to wait you go to the back of the line, and it was just like, and then CM Punk was even like repeating him too. It was just everything they were saying was just repeat after one another, and it was just, they were very much rambling. It was not a good showing. I thought it was a decent showing for Punk, and I think he did the best that he could. But LA Knight did ramble a little bit there.
Also, speaking of Jey Uso, why did LA Knight get a title shot? All right. Well, speaking of someone who had and then lost like instantly or got forgotten about after that. Someone who had a phenomenal promo, and that was one Bronson Reed. It was a backstage promo, but the new self-proclaimed, or Paul Heyman proclaimed tribal thief wants you to acknowledge him, and he cut one on Roman Reigns. And what do you think about this, Ryan? What do you think about the swerve? Everyone's saying Roman's going for the title. He's going to go after Seth. No, he's not, y'all. I keep telling you, he's not here for championships. That part of him is done. And it looks like it's going to be him and Bronson at Paris. What do you think? What say you?
I think it's perfect. I think it's a great match for Roman Reigns. I think it's a great opportunity for Bronson Reed. I thought it was a great promo from Bronson Reed. I thought he explained himself beautifully. Like, hey, I attacked Seth Rollins a few months ago, and I earned his respect whenever I attacked him. And now I'm doing the same thing to Roman Reigns. I'm gonna attack Roman Reigns, and he's gonna acknowledge the tribal thief. And like I thought it was just a really damn good promo from Bronson Reed. Now, yes, it was backstage. It was a vignette. It wasn't in the ring. It wasn't in front of the crowd. But I think this is how you build up somebody, especially if Roman's not going to be there. You need Bronson Reed to do a lot of the work. And I think Seth right now is getting a lot of praise for his work in the Vision. I think Paul Heyman obviously is getting a lot of praise for his work in the Vision. And I think people are talking more about Braun Breaker and, his work in the Vision and everything he did going into SummerSlam and everything. I think people kind of forgot about Bronson Reed. And I think this is his opportunity to really show out and showcase what he's capable of doing. And a match against Roman Reigns is nothing to sneeze at. And I think it's going to be a great thing. And I think he needs to win at Clash in Paris. And I think he needs to tsunami Roman Reigns 8 or 9 times after the match and really solidify himself as a true monster in WWE.
And I think he might. It's nice to have finally people, my friends, admitting that the Vision is a profitable group and doing great things. They have a name now and so on, doing big things over here. But Bronson Reed, man, talk about a money-making moment. I mean, the tribal thief, having the shoes, talking about how this is what happens on the streets. You go to the playground, you get punked. I punked you and took your shoes. That's what we do in the yard. Badass shit. It's so true. I just love it. And I love that Bronson went from kind of Braun Breaker's sidekick, who's Seth Rollins' sidekick. He's a sidekick of a sidekick to now being that dude. And props to Roman Reigns for, saying, hey, let Bronson come at me. I'm good with it. Roman Reigns doesn't need to do that right now, but him going ahead and facing off against Bronson Reed, win or lose, what a great, I'm sure Bronson is I'm sure 8 months ago, he didn't think I can't wait till I wrestle Roman Reigns one day. This is a money, and to have his shoes worn over my neck. Great. 2 pair. Oh, he'll have more. Don't worry. He's going to have 12 on him before they get to whenever they're going to wrestle. One of my favorite parts too is I always learn something every day, and Braun Breaker finally taught me some math, and that's 47 plus 40 equals 100, and I freaking love it. Yeah. The Steiner math, even when he sneaks them in, Good. All right, let's get it. You're breaking up. You there? There you go. I see you.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into these females, Ryan, because they, like we said, have been cooking. And we're gonna end on the females. We had a couple good things. So we had Naomi, who got injured, pregnant, disappeared, playing. She was there. Who knows? We'll get into that later on in the show. But we ended up having one Io Sky, then wrestle against one Judgment Day. Why am I blanking on her name? Roxanne Perez. Thank you. It's late.
Yeah.
Roxanne Perez, and Io Sky gets the win, and her and the Kabuki Warriors, the three of them, kind of go at it. They kind of push each other a little bit, get in a little scuffle, and it looks like either Asuka is turning heel. It looked like more, but maybe it's Io Sky. I don't know, but interesting, right? Was this planned beforehand, or was this just made up on the fly because of Naomi stepping out? But sign me up, dude. All aboard. I'm all for the Kabuki Warriors going at it. I'll take a three-way at any time of the week. So, yeah, this is big time, I think. And fun, because what happened to Asuka? Io Sky's kind of been in the spotlight. Asuka, who is a way bigger star, in my opinion, than Io, has been kind of forgotten. So I think this is going to be a fun little moment for both of them.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think it'll be the reintroduction to Asuka. I think we kind of forgot about her a little bit. And I think Asuka's better as a heel. And I think that she should be the one who turns heel and let Io Sky gets crazy reactions from the crowd. So let her keep getting those reactions. Don't turn Io Sky. Don't turn Kairi Sane, but just turn Asuka and let them cook. Let Io Sky and Asuka cook. And maybe we have new challengers for the women's world title. Who knows what's going on with Naomi? They haven't officially said anything. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Or maybe it is. I don't know. But, either way, I think the women's division is cooking in WWE. The women's division is probably way better than what anything the men are doing. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of cooking, we had another backstage promo, first from Bronson Reed, then one from Bayley. I took this as a heel promo. I posted that. A few people told me I was stupid, that it wasn't a heel promo, that this is just her trying to find her way. But basically, she let the world know that she's a failure. She's been disappointing herself and her fans and blah, 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 and seems to not be able to click and figure herself out. And this little dark side was kind of coming out of her. And I'm wondering, and I'll throw this at you, that if Bayley turns heel, what if she's going to bring Karrion Kross and Scarlett with her? Because it kind of looked like she was hitting that little dark, confusing, gonna manipulate kind of vibe. What if this is all a setup, which we'll talk about later, but what if she came back and maybe she has a Karrion Kross or a Scarlett? Maybe this isn't just for her to be a heel. Maybe she's planning bigger and better things for one Bayley, who deserves it, because you want to talk about people who have been forgotten completely. That's Bayley. Yeah. Bayley has been completely forgotten. What say you, and what do you think about the promo? Do you think this is her just staying babyface, or is this her turning heel?
I think it's the precursor to a heel turn. I think she needs a character change. I think that whatever's going on with her right now, it's working. The crowds are reacting positively, but I think she needs a change in direction. She's losing all these matches. She's disappointing herself, like she's saying. So I don't think she's quite turning heel yet, but I think it's the precursor to a long, drawn-out heel turn. And hopefully Triple H doesn't fumble this one like he did with the New Day's heel turn and John Cena's heel turn and all these other heel turns. So hopefully, he lets this one fester a little bit and turns her at the right moment. But I do think it was the early onset of a heel turn. I think when she turns heel, we'll look back at this promo as the kind of the tipping point, or the beginning of the heel turn, the moment where she broke bad, if you will. And then I think I like the idea of bringing Karrion Kross and Scarlett into the fold. I think that's an interesting theory, and it would prove that all of this was a ruse. It would prove that all of this was a gigantic work. And I think Karrion Kross has a tendency to manipulate people. He has a tendency to help people find their dark side. Everybody that Karrion Kross has worked with the exception of Sami Zayn, have all turned heel shortly after working with him. And so maybe this is her way of recognizing that and wanting to work with Karrion Kross and wanting to work with Scarlett, and this is how they bring him back. I like that idea. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, I could work. Could work. We'll see.
Yeah. It was kind of shot like a Karrion Kross type promo too.
That's what I'm saying. It felt very Karrion Kross, everything about it. I guess only time will tell. All right, let's get into it. Yeah, TikTok, Karrion Kross. All right, let's get into some NXT. And you want to open up with the promo of the year. That is from your boy, one Josh Briggs. He came out and cut a promo. I'll let you go and talk about it.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened in this promo, but he came out and before he could really say anything, the crowd was just booing him out of the building. And he even tried to rally away from it by saying, "Your boos don't affect me. I've seen the people that you cheer for." But that just, for whatever reason, made that, you know, the 1,500 people, the 1,000 people in NXT's audience even louder. But it got to a point where they were chanting, "Turn his mic off." And I think he started losing track of what he was saying. I lost track of what he was saying. It was just a very, very weird moment on NXT. It was, you know, I'm not saying the crowd tried to hijack the show, because they didn't hijack anything else going on throughout the night. But I think it tells you what they think of one Josh Briggs. And I really hope that I like Josh Briggs. I think he's good. Probably don't put a live mic on him anytime soon in the near future. But maybe that's something that he can work on in the Performance Center and get better. But that promo was just, it was just not good at all.
No, and it happens. You know, it takes some people a little while. It took Trick Williams a while to find out who he is, and now look at him. He cut some of the best promos in NXT, and that's the magic of it being the Performance Center. And I think put another live mic in his hand. I feel like what happens is that sometimes you're not prepared for the what chance. You're not prepared for the, you know, these certain chants are going to go on, and to cut his mic. You know what I mean? He's a human. Imagine you're pouring your heart out, you're trying to get over, and they're chanting, "Cut his mic off." In his head, he's probably like, "Oh, fuck. Like, what am I doing? Oh, God, I'm trying to get over right now." And in his head, who knows what's going on? So he's starting to forget what he says. These are the moments that he goes in the back, HBK, whoever else, shake him up a little bit. And hey, get at Road Dogg, you know, get out of it, snap out of it, get back out there, figure yourself out. This is going to happen. It happens to all of us. Hopefully he'll recover and go on from there. But yeah, it definitely wasn't his best moment. I felt bad, but he's also feuding right now with somebody that nobody cares about. It's just a real hot mess situation.
Yoshiki Iminora, it was a very strange feud in NXT anyway. So maybe that's what they're mad about. I don't know.
Maybe. Well, the main event no one should be mad about, but the dark side. The four dudes who one guy supposedly really likes people's asses. I don't know what I don't know why that's his thing right now. He keeps talking about wanting to stick it in people's butts and so on, but to each its own, my man, to each its own. But the dark side beat
Storm and AEW, man, I'm telling you.
Right, I guess so. So the dark side defeated the tag team of TNA superstars Moose and Trick Williams and NXT superstars Obafemi and Javon Evans. Javon took the pin thanks to one Trick Williams. Darkseid needed this win, man. I mean, I didn't see a world in where the Darkseid is going to lose. I'm assuming they're going to be the tag team champions. I mean, if you want the Darkseid to be taken seriously, which they have not been they said they've been around for 6 months. I'm like, what? It's been 6 months. You guys have done absolutely nothing. It's about time. But I said this before on a TikTok, and I stand by it. They need a leader. It's hard as a faction to get over when you don't have a main guy. He doesn't have to pronounce himself as the leader, but you need a standout guy, because if not, then you're just a Nexus. And what happened to the Nexus? Yeah. Exactly. So you have to have somebody that kind of stands out and is above everybody else, and then that guy needs to get solo wins with the help of Darkseid, as the Darkseid also beat people up. But you need that person. But other than hopefully they get there. But this was a nice win. I liked it. I like seeing Moose out there, and they're building storylines all over the place. So yeah, it was real good stuff, I thought.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a good way to end the show. I thought it was a good main event for NXT. I like the Dark State. I didn't realize, like you, that they had been around for 6 months, and hopefully this is the start of them turning things around, and they start capitalizing on them a little bit more. You know, you brought these guys in to, you know, so much fanfare. They were beating everybody up. It was kind of like a Shield-esque type debut, and you really haven't done anything with them since. Now's your chance to, you know, really, really get them going. They got a huge win this week, so I think keep that momentum going, and let's see where it goes.
Yeah, they're about to beat Hank and Tank, who were doing whatever they were doing this week on NXT. But
they'd be perfect tag team champions. We need get them off of Hank and Tank.
They were doing like SNL skits the entire episode, but either way.
And that's what you've done with them. You have SNL skits. Yeah, it's so
Fraxium. Possibly the tag team of the year. Well, not recently, but were. All right. Well, either way, it was a good week in WWE. It was a good follow-up at SummerSlam. Good build for Clash, and I look forward to whatever's going to happen moving forward in the next weeks. But all right, Ryan. Well, that's it. That's our weekend review. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. As always, we appreciate you. The love. I know we took a couple weeks off, but we're back. Hopefully you didn't forget about us. You can get those views back up. As always, subscribe, click, comment, everything. And if you just want to listen to me talk, please help me because my TikTok now is getting no views again. I don't know what the heck's happening. I'm at 16,000 followers. They're giving up on me. But if you want to come support and help me out, I'm at my_wrestling_opinion on all social media. And with me, as always, is
Ryan Enjoys Wrestling on all social media. Go follow me there. Go follow us on TikTok at Two Dudes with Attitudes. Go follow us here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Help us keep growing. We're going to post more, I promise. We got a bunch of things going now. I have a new computer, so we can do some editing. So go follow us on the YouTube channel. Go follow us on Instagram at Two Dudes with Attitudes Podcast and on X at Two Dudes PC. We appreciate everyone's love and support. Oh, and if you're listening to us on audio, Apple, Spotify, where we are in the top 10% of all listened to wrestling podcasts.
Yes, sir.
Keep that love coming, and we appreciate everyone's love and support. Go tell everybody about your favorite Two Dudes on the internet.
Two Dudes Wolfpack. We out.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all the two dudes with the attitudes to bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on time to